All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you had an incredible day yesterday, and hopefully, you're having a good Friday the 13th this morning. Hello. Take a look at that, friends. That's awesome. I don't think Peter's
All
going
right,
to
it's just
talk
me.
today.
Did I fool you? Did you know it was me? Of course you didn't. It's my Friday the 13th costume. All right. I've got the Canadian version. I got the Canadian Lumberjack shirt to go with it. So, all right, you're safe.
Oh, looks good.
You're all safe.
Looks good. I like it. All right, friends. Hopefully your Friday's not as scary so far. Peter, what we got going on today? Let's get to it, and then we'll jump at this massive gappers list.
There's a lot of stuff on the gappers list. We do have a couple of minor pieces of data coming in right now. We have both the import and export price index. They just came out. The numbers have just come in above, or under. I'm not sure how to rate this. Anyways, lower than expected. The expectation was for, as you can see on the screen there, a 0.2% contraction month over month. These are, by the way, for the import price, and a 0.1 for the export. The import came in at minus 0.3, but the export at 0.7, which would indicate that the cost of goods has decreased a lot more than the cost of goods coming into the U.S. has decreased a lot more than expected in the last month. So I guess that's good news. The markets have so far not cared. I'm just looking here. I don't see much of a reaction from the SPY or the Qs at all. So they're like, yeah, whatever. Oh, Philippe, now he's being mean, saying I'm still wearing my mask. All right. Well, hey, if the women can't find you handsome, they might as well find you handy. So, but the only other piece of data that we have later today is the consumer sentiment coming out at 10 a.m. So you can look for that at 10 if you're trading the open. Be aware, consumer sentiment recently hasn't done much to move the market, but on this last Friday, before we get our rate announcement coming on Wednesday of next week, all bets are off. So it could have an impact. It could not. But I think what we're going to spend more time at this morning is looking at this gappers list, because there's a lot of stuff on it, both up and down. It's a very mixed bag out there today. So we'll see where things are moving.
Yeah, we sure will. And let's just hope that we find some good stuff on here. We will. But right now, going through the names, some of these don't look too promising. But let's find out what's going on. Over on YouTube, guys, good morning to you all. Welcome. Glad to have you guys here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up before you get nice and cozy with your cup of coffee. Hit that button so then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the show. So that's awesome. And over on our YouTube chat, on our members tab, good morning to you guys as well. All right, friends, let's hop to it. So the first one on list, TNON, is going to be on here. And we are up. What is this? This actually went up to 130 from $10. Is that it was just some kind of split? Maybe that's not calculated. It looks like it. I mean, looking at this, it looks like it did this morning from $2.
But they did that. Let's see. They did have a reverse split. It was an 8-for-1 reverse split, but that happened on the 6th of September. That was a week ago.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe nobody noticed until yesterday.
Yeah.
It is a little weird, Carlos. You're absolutely correct, because
that's weird.
The price action here looks like that's sort of a split type activity, but it was supposed to have happened the 6th. That's the news that I see. This is not a heavily tracked stock, so it's tough to tell. I mean, the float on this is 500,000 shares, so it's not yeah, I don't know. Not something I'm going to look
Yeah.
at. We can garbage
Yeah,
truck
not
this
something
one.
I'll look at as well. So we'll pass
There
on
we
this
go.
garbage as you see there. But
Mm,
but if this is price action, you were in it. My hope for you is that you had a couple of 100,000 shares and you sold around at least 90, and I'm very happy for you. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. OMIC. This morning we're up 60%, 460,000 shares traded. Singular Genomics, like genomics. I don't know what
yeah,
I'm trying to say here.
genomics
Um,
probably.
yeah.
I don't know.
Last night they popped up after hours, and you're seeing that again this morning. Doesn't look great as far as the overall stock. Peter, do you like this one? And what's the latest and greatest?
After the close yesterday, this is a really low float, 1.5 million shares. So we're in the low float, but they did receive an acquisition proposal from Deerfield Industries. Deerfield Management Company LP has made. I'm not sure if it's unsolicited, but it made an offer anyways, a non-binding offer to buy the company for $10 in cash. So, as usual, when you get these types of offers, the price will usually move to below that acquisition price. I think I'm trying to figure out whether they would take it private or not. Is Deerfield publicly traded? I don't think Deerfield is a publicly traded company, so potentially that would mean that they would take them private. I don't know. These can be really tough to trade. It's not bad news, but acquisition news we don't typically trade because they don't move much.
Yeah. That is not looking good. So I'm gonna hop off that one and on to the next one is Oracle. And Oracle's been making our list I think almost every day here in the gap up. Again, gapping up today. Another nice number here, 6.2, 366 thousand shares traded. So that's very nice, as you can see there. Looking good, man. What's going on with them? It looks like last night they had something going. What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, I'm surprised. It feels like they're behind the times, but their talk about their cloud infrastructure business isn't the cloud so 2010s? So 2000s talking about the cloud. Everybody's in the cloud. But anyways, they increased their forecast, and they had earnings earlier this week, and then increased their forecast after their earnings. And I guess it's worked well for them because it's kept them in the news. You can see after the earnings they had the first gap and pop, and now they're getting another one. So yeah, I look. A couple of our moderators were watching Oracle yesterday. It's in play. What can I say? I mean. That's what's happening. it's moving on cloud.
There it is. I will add it to my secondary list. I think that is where I had it last time too on the secondary. So I'll do the same now. I will put it on here. We'll see where that goes. So on the secondary, it is in play today. This is a nice gap up, and I mean, if you look at the daily, they've been crushing it. I mean, the last 3 trading days, northbound here, northeastbound, and that is after a nice gap up on the 10th, right? So we'll put it on the secondary list to see what we get from it. Again, very difficult, hard stock to trade. We know that, but today they are in play. Let's take a look at one other one here, TBBB. I don't think I ever looked at this ticker. BBB Foods. Oh, we have. Yeah, we have looked at this. It shouldn't be here anyways. Let's move on. No volume, and it's not really doing anything. So garbage stock as well. PGR, another one that we have seen. It's been a while, but they shouldn't be here. So let's move on to the next one. SSL.
Yeah.
Let's keep the truck rolling.
Should they not be here? Do they not
No,
have?
they shouldn't be here.
They don't have
They have
volume. Oh
nothing.
yeah. They did have news.
Garbage.
They just released their monthly results. It's weird that they report monthly, but apparently they do. Anyways, PGR, some of the best commercials for an insurance company on TV, but apparently they're the worst to deal with, by the way. According to one report that I was reading the other day, according to lawyers trying to get settlements, Progressive is the worst to deal with. They will litigate you forever and never pay. So there you go.
Yeah. Everybody loves Geico. Companies love Geico. They pay right away, these guys. But yeah,
apparently Farmers is one of the best payers. So
yeah. All right, let's take a look here at SSL. So SSL, another garbage one. We'll move on. BORR, garbage. Let's keep that truck rolling. Okay, we can stop the truck here. You is good.
Garbage
Let's
truck's
pull
going to
over
run
for
out of
this one.
gas.
Yeah. It is up 3.2, 282,000 shares trade, as you can see here. I personally don't trade the stock. I just don't like the way the price action is. It reminds me a little bit of PLTR, the way it moves, right? It can get volume, but it can trade so bad. Yesterday had a nice breakout around 1125, looks like. Look at that pop there. So, again, doing very well there. Peter, any news this morning on you?
Yeah, they did. There was some news midday yesterday, which is why we had that pop on it. Unity Software. You remember? It came to my attention, anyways, when they announced they were one of the developers going behind the. I think it was Apple's VR headset technology, but their core software is the software that is used to create mobile games and monetize them. They've got a sort of an engine that people can use out of the box. But their pricing model has been one, though, apparently, if you use their software to build your game, then they increase the fees based on your usage threshold. So basically, the more popular the game, the more money they make. Which I guess is okay, but users have not liked that. And last year, the CEO announced that they would charge a sort of a runtime fee every time the game was downloaded, and basically people started abandoning their platform. So yesterday they reversed that and said, you know what, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to start charging flat fees on the usage of this to develop platforms, and that led to a jump in the stock. So this could be in play. That's good news for them, and it probably would drive usership use of it, I assume. I don't know, though. I mean, if you look at the volume sort of spiked yesterday after that announcement, and we could get some movement. So far, pre-market doesn't look great, though. I'm not loving what I'm seeing. So maybe on a
Yeah, yeah.
secondary, but it's yeah, just maybe.
Yeah, it's not looking great, and I've seen better days and still have not liked this. So today won't be
Yeah.
one of the days where it will be on my main list. Maybe a secondary, because again, that news does have potential. I mean, people love the platform, and now you're gonna have a flat rate, and obviously sounds like people were growing on the platform because they were getting upset about the fees. That means you're growing, so you like something about it. Let's see how that goes. On the secondary list, right next to Oracle for now. On the list. I think we cover everything on the gap up. Peter, anything you want to talk about that's gapping up today?
I wasn't watching anything in particular. I do think that we possibly are setting up to see another good day in some of our standard stocks. The semis once again had a good movement day yesterday. A little choppier than the day before, but you would expect that right after such a big move. But still, some good price action. I had a couple good trade opportunities on them. So I noticed that Nvidia just went red, but it was trending green pretty much all morning. So Nvidia, AMD, MU. People were watching MU yesterday. They all moved well. Of course, we got the Teslas and the Apples and the Amazons all in the mix as well. So I think if you just stick to what don't go chasing waterfalls. You should be fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. Here's Tesla, friends. Volume, is that right? Only 470. Wow, that is very low. I know you mentioned it here, but again, they've been trading somewhat decent here, but that is some really low volume. I'm still going to put them on my list, right? We've been watching them for quite a while, and there's been some good opportunities on it. So maybe a secondary for now. Maybe today's not their day, but I'm
There
really
you go.
surprised with that type of volume, and 471. Even on the worst days, they get good volume. Peter, can you
Mhm.
confirm? Do you see the same thing on your end?
Yep. Yep.
471. Wow.
Yep.
From
Meanwhile,
memory,
Nvidia's
that's the
twice
lowest
its
I've
normal
seen.
volume. Yeah, it's sitting over 11 million shares traded so far. So, you know, I guess that's where
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
gone. Everybody's decided to go to Nvidia this morning.
I guess. Great day yesterday. You kind of getting a little bit of recovery in these semis. So I'll be watching that one. I did not look at AMD yesterday, but let's see how they did. They okay. I mean, they didn't end red, so they're up here up a bit this morning with some volume. So maybe on a secondary for now. All right, let's see what's capping down. Let's look at FTDR. So FTDR this morning, garbage. We'll look at Adobe. Adobe is one of those stocks, Peter, and you mentioned this about some stocks that we wish we could trade if they trade it well, but they don't. There's just something about them. But maybe today. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, you're right. Yeah, it's sort of like Unity Software. There's a bunch of these companies that there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to trade well, but they just don't. For some reason, the price action and their movement, I don't know, it doesn't lend itself to nice, good smooth patterns in trading. Adobe's fits into that category. It's one of them. They did have news. They did have earnings after the close yesterday. It was the only thing we were watching after the close in the chat room. They had they sort of had a decent quarter. It's not like they didn't do well, but their forward-looking guidance was well below expectations, and analysts were very disappointed in Adobe's forecast, especially on AI. They were expecting to see a lot more, like all AI companies, they're expecting growth in that, and Adobe is not delivering. So they're down 8% right now. They were down a lot more than that earlier, so down 9.5, almost 10% a little bit earlier. So I think it has a chance to be in play, but like you were saying, Carlos, the volume is lower than I would love this morning. Like, it's not looking great pre-market. It is a NASDAQ stock, but it trades like a NYSE stock. So this will, I feel like I need to watch it, so it'll go on a secondary, but it's not a great mover.
Yeah, I want to watch it as well. I'm going to put it on my secondary. But yeah, the volume. I mean, 278 could be great for them because they're just so bad. I mean, if you look at the daily, what's the average here on the daily? 1.5 maybe or less. It is so low for the entire day. So yesterday they got 5.6 million, obviously on news, but for the most part, they just don't get the volume. And for a stock that's priced this high, if you don't got the volume, the time in sales, and then just overall price action, it's not going to look pretty in the intraday. So that's for sure. But I'll be watching it just to kind of see what happens there. ABLG is next, and this one should be on here. It is down 5.7. We saw this yesterday. I did not personally keep it on the list, but you see, you got a little bit of a move up here. Very ugly intraday action, right? Halted here, did move up, and then went sideways into about maybe 2 o'clock or so, 3 o'clock. But yeah, I don't like it. Secondary play today, Peter, but I won't be watching it. Your thoughts on this one?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. The news yesterday was that they just regained compliance with the listing requirements, which means that they will not be delisted. But yeah, that's the trading price action. I looked at it, I think, twice over the course of the day, and sort of looked and said, "Nope, moving on." So yeah, I'm not putting it back on my list today.
Yeah, won't be on mine either. Let's take a look at mRNA. mRNA. Here we go. And these guys were gap down yesterday. Today they're gapping down some more, down 4.4. If you guys remember the news on this one, they were losing funds, right, or investments or whatever it was. So yeah, that's not
Yeah,
good. People pulling the
they
plug here.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of bad news yesterday, right? With the CEO saying calling off their revenue forecast, they were laying off R&D people, and they were delaying their approval with the FDA for their combined vaccine, the flu and COVID vaccine. As a result, this morning we've got 3 separate downgrades. Oppenheimer, J.P. Morgan, and Jefferies have all downgraded the stock. So that's just what's continuing the movement. It wasn't great yesterday. Well, I don't know. mRNA is a funny one. It wasn't terrible yesterday, but I don't know. I just didn't trade it. I couldn't figure out what it was doing because it went down pre-market, and then it sort of went up midday, but not aggressively. And I'm not sure what to expect of it today. So like it if you watch it, but I'm probably not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, same. We'll keep it off the list here. And looking at our next one, what is this? LBTYK. It's too early to be
Liberty
typing five
Global.
ticker.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, what is
weird.
this? Oh, shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be here. It's garbage. But you have a
No,
news on it or
it's
no?
yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of this. This is a telco out of Bermuda. Anyways, they're apparently going to complete a spin-off of their Sunrise division in the fourth quarter of 2024. That's what they confirmed, and that spin-off, I guess, seems to be taking their price down, but it's not. yeah, not tradable. We can move on.
Yeah. I don't like it. Let's look at the next one, BA, with some news here as well, man. This will be on my list. Like I always mention, it's like, when is the next shoe going to drop? And it did here. So on the list this morning, Peter, give us the latest and greatest.
Oh my God, I've got some allergies going on here. I keep sneezing.
Oh.
I've never sneezed so much in my life as I have the last 2 weeks.
I was wondering what was going on, because I have you on this camera here. Usually when I have my
Mm.
setup here, I can see you while I'm looking forward. And I just see you kind of like tilting down, like, is Peter falling over? Like, what's going on? So I look over, and I guess you're
Help
sneezing.
me!
Because it was just
I'm
like, I'm
falling.
looking here, so I'm like, why? What is going on with Peter?
I was
All
I was
right.
trying to sneeze
Oh man.
off camera, but yeah.
Mm.
Anyways, let's get back to the news. Yeah, Boeing. So we thought they had reached an agreement, but looks like their workers have voted to strike. They've rejected management's offer and said, "Screw you, we're going on strike." So that's going to be problematic for them. Now, the strike may still be averted, or it may be short lived, but in the short term, that's not good news for Boeing, because that's going to affect, of course, their production line. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Boeing has an amazing resilience to all this news, though. Every time I think this has got to be bad news that Boeing's going to drop on, it seems to be a day when the stock price goes up. So be warned. Boeing can do odd things.
Yeah, man. When you have such a grip on this market, right? You're in good shape to survive. So, and I highly doubt the U.S. will let this company go down.
No,
If
no,
it
they won't.
if it ever gets to that point, that's not happening. Yeah.
Rick is telling us the average strike in the past was about 55 days. So if we're living to the averages here, that means it'll be a month and a half before we this thing gets resolved, and almost 2 months. And yeah, that would mean that Boeing is going to be in a slow skid for a while, and we won't really get any news on it for a bit of time. I again, tough to know what it's going to do today, right? Like, there's probably not going to be much news on a Friday like this, especially if they voted to strike. They're probably going to be quiet until, when is the strike supposed to happen? I didn't see that. I didn't see that. So, anyways, whenever the strike is supposed to happen, is it immediately, or is it like starting next week, or started at midnight?
Yeah, they
Okay, so
usually give a heads up. Oh, it started already? Okay.
apparently,
All right.
according to Rick, it
Um,
started at midnight. He seems to know what's happening at Boeing there. So
yeah. Hassan says over on YouTube, Boeing is far behind on Airbus. Yeah, on certain things they are, they really are. But again, Airbus can't take all the business, right? So that's the problem. It takes so long to build these. You're not building cookies, right? So it takes so long that when you look at what American Airlines or some of these guys place their orders, it's like, oh, they order 100 units of the 737 for 2040. It's like, wait, what?
yeah,
Into that time. So it takes a lot. All right. So they're not going anywhere, but it will be interesting. And again, someone mentioned Boeing doesn't trade. Well, I think it was Jose over in our chat. The problem is, it's a hit or miss. You get some really good days. I have some really great trades on Boeing, and I've seen days where it's just bombs. So you
yeah.
shouldn't say bomb when talking about planes, but yeah, we'll see what happens. That completes our gap down. I think I covered everything. Peter, you like anything on here, or anything else you have that's down but not on the
I,
list?
I really have nothing else. I mean, a few things have moved into the red, but we already talked about them. Like Tesla is just trending on the, just below yesterday's close. So is Nvidia at the moment, but we already talked about those. So nothing else. I wanted to go back to, 'cause I made a comment earlier about, I think I was talking about Adobe, that I said it's a NASDAQ stock, but trades like a NYSE stock. And JC was reasonably asking, what the hell does that mean? So, let me contextualize that. NASDAQ stocks tend to have a very fluid price action and movement, largely because of the way the market makers operate. You get a lot more market makers who compete against each other for volume. And I just find that they tend to move a lot smoother. Whereas NYSE stocks tend to have jerkier price action because there's fewer people that control larger blocks of inventory. And because you've got those fewer market makers, you can often find like NYSE stocks that won't move at all for a while and then suddenly jump. and then you get this big volume spike out of nowhere almost, right? And that would be the market maker sort of executing a bunch of orders, and then this thing starts to move smoothly again. So you can see that especially at the open. When you look at the open, watch the opening minutes on a lot of New York Stock Exchange listed stocks where they won't trade. There'll be virtually no volume for at 9:30, 9:31, 9:32, and then it'll be like 9:33 or some one of those minutes when suddenly you see this big volume spike. Whereas Nasdaq stock, the biggest volume bar of the day is almost always 9:30. So it's just a slightly different way in which they trade. I just prefer that smooth price action. It just gives me more comfort in taking my trades. But others will love the other side of it. So it just depends on what you like. But that's what I meant by.
Yep. Perfect. Friends, let's go over to you guys. I know Apple's one that we're going to be watching today. It is up almost 1% here with the release of their pre-order iPhones. You could have started doing that about an hour ago. So if you want to order your iPhone 16, pre-orders are open on the website. But they're moving higher today. They're up almost 1%, almost 1 million shares traded. So I'll look at them today and see how their stocks moves this morning. And see where it goes from there. So Apple is on my list for sure. Peter, did you order? Are you going to order your iPhone 16, or are you not?
Not at all. No way. No how. You've got to be a real fan to pre-order the iPhone 16, don't you? I mean, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be much change. Do you are you that eager to get AI to watch your every move on your phone? I don't. Did you see their ad? I watched one of their promotional videos for their AI, and they're like, I thought it was funny. They had this guy, he was walking in front of a restaurant, and they say, imagine walking down the street and seeing a restaurant you've never seen before. You can now scan it and AI will tell you its opening hours and ratings. And I'm like, I can't. Well, first off, the opening hours, shouldn't I be able to look right on the door if I'm standing in front of the restaurant? And exactly, I could just Google it or type in the name and I can get that information right now. This doesn't really sound very revolutionary. So anyways, I just I thought, whoever thought that one up needed to come up with something a little more aggressive, I think. But anyways, so I'm hoping the AI has more to offer than restaurant ratings for a restaurant I'm literally standing outside of. But
yeah, I agree. But yeah, I'm gonna be ordering it because I got the 13. The screen is cracked, but I haven't changed it, so I'm gonna be ordering it. And then because I'm getting, my wife's like, "Oh, I should get one too." I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Let's just both get one."
Really?
But I have the 13.
Okay.
But I see my reason for getting it is not because it's a new phone. It's just mine needs an upgrade because the way the body looks right now, right? So the camera's cracked. It's just banged up. So I'm getting it for those reasons.
Have they changed the charge cable?
I still got the lightning cable, but I can't complain about them not no more because I have the options to upgrade now and get my USB. So I will be doing that. So they does have the USB-C cable. Can you imagine they changed it back to something else?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what, Peter? Like I said, I'm not an Android user or a Samsung user, but for those that are and not knocking on it, do they change their phones every time? Because like I think we mentioned it yesterday, when something works, you just keep it. And this works and it sells, right? So you're not gonna, what are you gonna do? Make a triangle? I mean, we know we like triangle stuff, especially Andrew. He likes He likes anything pointy, P capital mountains, anything with just triangle he likes. But does Android change their body on a regular basis? What do they do? What are they adding that makes it so exciting? I just want to. I gotta look this up after the show. I gotta. Andrew's laughing over on our YouTube chat. He's watching from halfway across the world. But yeah, friends, we'll be looking at Apple here and see how this plays out. Again, no, it's the same. Right, it's the same. They're not making drastic changes. I think what pisses people off is the way Apple does their conferences. Like, oh my god, like, dude, come on. It's a camera button. It's not that serious. It's their excitement that's like, why are you so excited about this? But hey, they get that's what they have to do, right? If you were in their shoes, you do the exact same thing. Exactly. Andrew says chip changes only. The chips inside are just faster, and the camera get a little bit better. There's only so much you can go on that small frame. So, all right, that is your tech segment for today. Let's go over to back to stocks. Peter, I think we cover everything that you like so far. Next week we'll
We
have an
did.
unwrapping here of an iPhone, iPhone something. But if we're done there, let's find out what's happening for the next 2 weeks, man. That's always something that's going on there. Always something actually changing. So you guys can actually get a good information here. Go over to variabletraders.com and you can click over on webinars, and that's going to give you what's coming up for the next 2 weeks. So Peter was going to take you through that.
Absolutely. So we always have great stuff going on. Let's talk about next week. We're going to start Monday, as always, with our onboarding and technology series. Gives everybody who's new in the room or just wants a refresher on the tech or what you can get out of your Bearable Trading membership, the opportunity to ask questions and get involved. First, Brendan's up with his DAS Trader Setup series. Great information in there. DAS is a wonderful platform, but it's not always obvious how you can configure it and get the most out of it. So it's good to get tips there and share ideas. Join him at noon on Mondays if you want to be part of that. And then Carlos does his onboarding session at 8 p.m. every Monday night. And that, again, open to all. And even if you've been around for a while, it might be good to just join, have some fun, have a good conversation, help those that are new. But for anybody that's new, it really gives you a good walkthrough of all you can expect out of Bearable Traders and how to get the most from it. Tuesday, we focus on strategy as we try and improve your trading. And our strategy session this coming Tuesday is going to be focused on taxation. We get a lot of questions about how do I manage the tax? What do I do at the end of the year? We are not experts in that field, so we're bringing the experts to you. Dave and Joey are going to be here next Tuesday. Keep in mind, this is an early time. They're going to be here at 5 o'clock to share their knowledge on the tax system in the U.S. I need to be specific about that. A lot of people have asked, this is not Canadian focused. It's not other countries. It's only if you're U.S. based. So, but U.S. tax management, Joey and Dave are going to give you some tips and maybe where you can look for more information. Taxation is never easy, so you always need to rely on the experts. They'll give you some insight, again, next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. The week after that, Mike is going to be doing a session back at the regular time, talking about how you can leverage scanners, the trading terminal scanners, to execute the high of day break strategy that he uses actively. So he'll share that insight and help get you. We'll get you on the path. Wednesday is psychology. Always, and next Wednesday is no exception. Randy Howell is going to be leading. He's always got great titles and great subjects in his for his webinars. Next week, he's going to be talking about how you crack the secret code for a disciplined trading mind. So it is very tough to discipline your mind. I was talking about this with our Peak Capital boot campers yesterday night at our team meeting, and it is very tough. One of the toughest things you can do is to calm yourself and maintain a level perspective on the markets when you get into the heat of battle, right? We all get sort of that battle fog that, some people fight, some people flee, right? I'm a fleer. I hate to admit it, but fight or flight, I retreat. So you have to manage it either way so that you don't go out of control and you trade maturely. It's tougher to do than you would think, and Randy's going to help us with that. The week after, well, Mike's going to have a busy week that week. He'll be doing Wednesday session as well, talking about the Trader's Edge, how you evaluate and strengthen your discipline. Yesterday, we did our mentorship sessions, and we'll do them again next week, every Thursday. We have 4 sessions for you. If everything goes to schedule, it should be on schedule next week. And John will start at 11 a.m. with his. Jared and Megan talk options at 2. Lenny goes back to equities at 4. And then Thor does his ever-popular Thursday mentorship session at 8 p.m. So there you go. Those are the 4 that we've got on Thursday. That's what we've got over the next 2 weeks. It's Friday today, and we do not do webinars on Friday. We want you to start to think about the weekend. Get away from trading. As important as education and improving yourself is, it's also important to take a break. Let your mind rest. Let it think about things in the background while you focus on other stuff in your life, whether that's your family or your house or an activity, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but it's good to get away from trading. Don't be thinking about it 24/7, or I can virtually guarantee you will burn out. So give yourself some time off. Friday night, Saturday, great times to do that. If you want to start looking at things again Sunday, then by all means. But that would be my recommendation for you. So with that, Carlos, we got some levels to set. We got some live trading to do this morning. We got a special guest coming on. We still have lots of stuff happening here. And I'm looking forward to a good trading day. I actually like these days where you don't have a lot of stuff moving, where the markets are relatively flat. So yeah, I'm looking at NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA right now, right? It's starting to move down, but still a little bit of movement. I think we're heading for a good day on some of these things.
Yep. You mentioned Trading Terminal.
I didn't. Not at all. Do you want to?
I think we should. People should know about one of the best websites out there, right? To find trading information.
Not that we're biased, and we are completely biased, but we'll say you got to go to tradingterminal.com. It's where we go to get our information in the morning. We get the scanners there. I do the calendar of events and activities. I look to see what's if there are any earnings. I also use it for the scanners throughout the day. High of day break scanners tell me what's moving midday, any halts out there in the market, all sorts of stuff. Plus, of course, you get your regular news and your fundamental data, insider trading information. You know, if you're really digging deep in a stock, especially if you're a swing trader or an options trader, you might want to know what else is happening out there. Those are excellent sections. And of course, as I mentioned before, you can see that big banner at the top, the back to school sale. The only thing you pay for are some of the courses where some of our moderators have spent a lot of time building in-depth courses on specific topics. If you're interested in those, they're all now 50% off, so you might want to check that out. As I said, we are completely biased, but I think it's for good reason. It's a great site with great value, so go check it out. We think you will be impressed. So with that, Carlos, now I haven't done my job yet. The other thing is, if you want to join us at Bear Bull Traders, you know those webinars I was talking about? If you want to see them, then consider joining us. Go to bearbulltrading.com, bearbulltraders.com. Sorry, bearbulltraders.com. And you can find out how you can join. We've got a number of membership options for you. Pick the one that's best for you, and hopefully we'll see you in the chat room sometime soon.
Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, let's get right to it. 907. I only got 3 tickers on my list here. I got NVIDIA, I got a BA, and I got Apple. And then I got a bunch on my secondary list, which we can see what we can get out of that. Tesla starting to do some funky stuff here. Went down to 227, back up to 229. Yeah, I'm going to put Tesla up on my list here. We'll move it up. We'll upgrade it to the main list based on what's going on here. So we'll move that one up, and we'll do levels for it. If I can just delete this here. There we go. So we got NVIDIA, we got BA, we got Apple, and we have Tesla trying to go green. Any news breakout on Tesla? Not that it has to. This is not a huge move, but seems to be interesting what's going on at the moment. So
yeah, they did.
Yeah,
it was a little bit earlier this morning. They did actually adjust their delivery numbers, which is never good if you have to sort of say, actually, we revised that. We were a little bit wrong, and we didn't deliver as many vehicles as we originally said. But that news came out around 7 a.m. So I'm not sure what prompted this sudden move here, because that was certainly not in reaction to that specific element. But something might have come out. I didn't see it. I'm not sure what happened exactly right at 9. Maybe somebody just showed up in the office at Wall Street and saw that news and said, "Oh crap, I better get out of some positions."
Yeah. All right, let's take a look. Someone mentioned Uber, and I pulled it up here, and it looks like something's happening in the transportation Uber Tesla thing, right? Look at Uber right now. Also, just a few minutes ago, up 7% almost, with 1 million shares traded. So something that maybe can affect these guys is moving here. So we'll put it on our secondary. We'll come back to it for now. We'll put Uber here. And
they had previously announced that they were working with a Chinese company, right, to improve and automate their ride hailing service, as people like to call it. And apparently they announced this morning they're expanding that partnership. Specifically, they're going to be launching in Austin and Atlanta. So I want everybody out there, if you're in Austin or Atlanta, I would love if somebody would send us here at Bearable Traders a video of you taking an autonomous taxi. I'm not going to be one of the first ones, but if you want to do it, by all means, just don't die, please. Just
yeah. Be safe.
It
Be
made
safe.
and it's funny because it's not the autonomous cars that make me nervous per se. It's the fact that I know that regular drivers, we are morons, and we're going to do the least expected thing possible. And I worry about the computers being able to adapt and doing something weird in response to it. So yeah, I just they make me nervous. Again, if it was all autonomous cars, I'm down for it, man. Like I have no problem. I would take one all day. But if it's autonomous and regular drivers, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Absolutely. All right, friends, let's get to it. Let's get to some levels. Just sending some messages here. Sean, what the hell's going on with you guys? Do you not watch the live news data? See, I'm getting old now, so stuff like that does not piss me off. So I just told him, hey, man, it's a Bloomberg channel. Go watch Bloomberg. Nobody's holding you here, my friend. Go over there.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what to tell you, man. I will tell you. We are different here. We are different. And if we were the same as Bloomberg, then what will make you come over here? Simple as that. All right, friends. Let's take a look here. Nvidia. Nvidia right now at the moment.
Chinese company. Oh, I get Logan's correcting me that Waymo is apparently Google. I didn't realize that. Okay, then I stand corrected.
Yeah. All right, friends, let's take a look at Nvidia here, my friends. At the moment, we are pretty much flat. We got tons of volume, though, 12 million shares traded. And this one has been trading so good over the last couple of days. Yesterday, no different. And the day before, even better. So I'm going to be watching them. I hope you guys have been taking advantage of the great trading that we've been getting out of this one. As far as levels goes, let's take a look here at the low of the pre-market. We do have 118.53, so we'll slam one there. And then on the top, we do have 119.66. So nice range for them, but these guys can move $5 very easily. So that's a pretty tight range for this morning in the pre-market. I expect them to hopefully break out of that, unless we're going to have a very, very choppy day. Here on the daily, guys, highs and lows for the last two trading days got you covered. Towards the bottom, we're going to mark down. We have our levels there. It's another level that's good, but I don't think we'll get there today. 112.03. I mean, that's a big drop for this Friday, given the way the momentum has been towards the upside. I'm not saying we're going to have another update today, but it seems low. 123.19 towards the top side looks good. And then once you do that, you are all set. BA on some news here. Again, just more negative stuff. But this stock, we're talking in chat that the strike, Peter, they must have stopped happening when people started disappearing, right? So there might be a link there why people have not doing strikes with BA. And we're absolutely kidding, guys. We have no facts on that. But BA here, 154.40 is the low of the pre-market. The high is sitting at 161.19. And then above that, you have this area which has kind of been stuck. BA has been lower in the past. If you look back here over at April, we got to go back a little more. Was it last year? Look at a weekly right here. In 2022, we have been lower. We haven't seen that in quite some time. But we're definitely hitting some 52-week low areas here. 148.85 on the weekly, just in case this news reacts a certain way, and 140.22 for BA. But I find them a really good buy around this 160 area. So you got to be careful. There might be some people thinking here of going long for long-term positions, and that can hold that price pretty easily. Here is Apple. Apple at the moment, highs and lows for the last two trading days towards the bottom, doing a great job. You do not need to add anything else here. You're pretty much set. And then towards the top, high of the pre-market, we're looking at 224.59. We'll slam one there. And then right over here, we look at 226.46. Looks good. And then above that, we have 228.58. So pretty good there. And again, we'll see how they react today. Their iPhone stuff releasing this morning, or pre-orders releasing this morning. Again, I don't think it might affect them as much. You don't find out, about a month or so, how the sales are really doing. So, but again, they got the momentum this morning. Let's see if that can continue. Here is Tesla. Tesla at the moment reacting to that Uber news. It doesn't really affect them much right now. We'll see how it goes first. But high of the pre-market at the moment, we're looking at 227.31. And then towards the top, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days got pretty much the price covered. Your levels covered here for quite a bit. Above all those levels and the previous day close, 233.49, and then we also have 234.86. Once you do that, guys, you're pretty much set here on Tesla. All right, taking a look at our moderators list, we have a couple: Eamon, Lenny, Jared, Thor, Mike, Pierre, Phil. Peter, run us through what's going on there.
Yeah, we got a few that are in. By the way, you guys are absolutely right. I got that wrong. I think in my head I got it reversed. You got to give me a little. There's a lot of names out there. It seems Waymo sounds like the way they like to name Chinese organizations. So I always thought that was the Chinese one, and WeRide, which sounds more North American, was the Google one, but it's the other way around. Waymo is the Google one, and WeRide is Chinese, owned by Baidu. So, anyways, I got it wrong. So, thank you guys for correcting me. This is the value of having a chat room, right? You got other people saying, "Wait a second, that's not right," or "Look at this." Lots of help. All right, let's take a look at what our moderators are looking at. We've got some lists in here. Surprised to see, since I was just talking about Uber, it's not on the list, but maybe we just brought it up recently. They'll change their mind. We'll see. I'll probably put it on my list. Now I feel like I have to watch it because I've talked so much about it. But anyways, Lenny's got a big list here today, watching Apple, Meta, Oracle, Boeing, ENVX, which we did not talk about, Adobe, and PDD. Eamon's got 2 potential longs with Boeing and mRNA. And if I could say, yesterday I think I said Eamon was grumpy because he had nothing on his list. He said he didn't like anything. And when he came on the microphone later in that day, people were saying, "Hey, Peter says that you're grumpy." And I was just joking, of course. But what was interesting was that he said he had taken 3 trades and all 3 were red, and he should have just stuck to his list, which was he didn't like anything and should have stayed out of the market. Sometimes it's like that, right? You force a trade, and he admitted, he said, "I forced a couple of trades and it didn't work." Never force a trade. If you don't see something, don't be afraid not to trade. Yesterday, I think I took my first trade. I'd have to look back. I think I didn't take my first trade to sometime around 11 o'clock, and there are days where that happens. So don't be afraid of it. All right, Jared is going to be watching Google, Unity Software, Oracle, Adobe, and Boeing. Thor is going to be watching Tesla, Apple, and Amazon. Mike is watching Amazon and Boeing. Pierre is watching Tesla, NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, and Apple. I still have no IPOs or SPACs out there, so still a quiet day on the IPO front. Phil's going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, and AMD. Brendan, NVIDIA, Oracle, Boeing, and Tesla. For my part, I did not get my list in, but I'll be watching the usuals in AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA. And I think I'm going to watch, I just want to see what Boeing does with the strike information. I'm going to be watching Uber. And I'll probably, Unity Software doesn't trade well, but I don't know. I'm going to see if this billing model change has an effect on it. So that's what I'm going to be watching. Carlos has already got his list at the bottom there, so he'll be keeping an eye on a couple of things, see what happens. You may notice that Boeing is not on my list, only because I always want to trade Boeing, but Boeing hates me. I think I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty confident that every single trade I've ever taken on Boeing has been red. I just don't know why Boeing does not like me, but
it is a tough trader, man. Same like Uber. Like someone mentioned it. Who mentioned it in chat? I cannot pronounce that, but you end with Billy, so I'll call you Billy. But Uber is in play. I have it on my secondary, but man, it has burned me so many times. We'll have to see how the market open, Tracy, when the volume comes in, right? It has 1.4. It is in play. You should have it on your list if you traded successfully in the past, but the price action is just brutal. Another comment here from Brandy Soda on Apple. The big news on hearing aid. That's big on hearing aid. But you know what? I think that's going to affect companies that provide hearing aids, because I don't know how they look now, but in the past, I haven't seen anybody with hearing aids in a while. Maybe because they're getting better at the way they look, right? Because before it was like around the ear, right, Peter? It was very, that you could tell when somebody had it, was very bulky. But now I haven't seen that around so much. So if you haven't upgraded to a size pod type earbud, then yeah, you're going to be losing out here. But for them, I don't know how big that business is going to be. We'll have to see. I did like the watch, Peter. Do you have any type of Apple Watch? I did like their new watch. The sport one looks pretty good. It's bigger. That was okay. But I'm not a big watch guy.
I'm not down with these giant watches. I I used to wear a watch, and then I gave up, and then I tried to wear one again. I'm like, I just don't like having things hanging around my wrist, to be honest. So I just, I don't do it. Refuse.
Yeah. All right, excellent. We are all set, good to go, friends. That's our list: NVIDIA, BA, Apple, and Tesla. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
I was just going to mention, I was thinking about this. I was writing the date down, and I realized I was joking earlier with my little Jason mask and costume. It is Friday the 13th, and take that seriously. One of the things we talk about all the time is about mental resiliency and your mental status in trading. It is more important than any other aspect. If I'm not particularly superstitious about Friday the 13th, but a lot of people are, right? And black cats, ladders, Friday the 13th, whatever, right? If the day makes you nervous, if you're convinced you have bad luck on a Friday, you will probably trade worse. You're probably going to have a losing day. So think about that, and because often, what you think, even if you're trying to push it aside, and you're like, I know it's foolish, but I still believe it, but I'm going to trade anyways. That sits in the back of your head. Do not think that psychology stuff doesn't affect you. So all I would say is, at the very least, trade more cautiously. Make sure it's a really good setup, and if it's a really good setup that just doesn't work, then so be it. But don't force yourself in the market trying to overcome your concerns. It's like trying to overcome if you didn't have enough sleep, or you were out partying the night before, or you're just come in frustrated because of things outside of trading. When you try and push that aside in trading, it almost always affects you, and almost always it's negative. So I want to put it right at the forefront of your brain, so that I'm giving you permission today, right? If really you're just not feeling it, or you're not sure, sit it out. Watch the market. Right? Learn from the market. Watch it, learn. You're still getting valuable experience. Don't force yourself. And there's no point giving away money you don't have to. And there's no point creating bad experiences that you then have to overcome. So that would be my feedback and recommendation for you. Not a rant today, but maybe some fatherly advice from Papa Trading here. So you know what? Think about that. Take it to heart. Do what you're going to do. But at the end of the day, remember these words and come back and say, you know what? Probably should have listened to him. So there you go.
Yeah. Excellent, man. All right, who's trading today? We have Brian is back. Who else we got on deck with Brian this morning?
Brian is back, absolutely. And on the schedule, I've got Lenny. Lenny's supposed to be trading today and then for the next couple of days, so we can get see his style and see how it goes. So hopefully Lenny's got the information that we've posted out there and able to log in and get her running. I know that Thor's always happy to queue up if Lenny can't, but there he is. He's here.
I see Lenny rocking. What is it here? Yeah.
Everybody's got these nondescript white backgrounds these days. What's going on?
Yeah.
Lenny, good morning. Before we get to you, my friend, guys, over on YouTube, we have 641 people watching. Let's get those likes up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton here on this show. So thank you so much for that. And a comment from Jay. So Jay had a 9-day green streak, and I think he broke it probably yesterday or today. But man, that's awesome. Out of 9 out of 10 trading days, you lost one. Not even the best team in any league has that type of record. So
those can be tough in their own right? Because sometimes you then get afraid of the losing day, and when you have a losing day, it can sometimes be a big one because you so much don't want the losing day, and often you can also be sort of incredulous. I can't believe I'm losing. There's no way. I've been going so well. Let me try another trade and another and another. So if you ever find yourself in a winning streak, it's awesome. But be cautious of when it stops, and it's going to stop. It's inevitable. But just take a step back and just say, you know what, it is what it is. Don't force anything. Again,
and don't change anything too, right? Don't change anything. Obviously, what you've been doing has been working. So I'm like, oh man, something's wrong. I got to change the whole plan here. No, it happens. If you look at the Yankees, right? They lose a lot of games. Well, not this year, but when they were at their best, they lost games, right? They were the best team in the league. They lost games. So you're not going to be perfect. So, all right, with that, good morning, Lenny. Good to have you, man. Looking forward to your trading this morning. Good morning, Brian. Guys, I'm going to hop off. Have a great week, and I'll be in chat. And let's trade very cautious, as Peter mentioned it today. Take care, everyone.
Trade smart, everybody.
Thank you, and good morning. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Peter. As always,
Sage advice. I think sage means good. Anyway, I know it's a
Yes.
spice. Good morning, Lenny.
Yeah, it's also
Good
tasty.
morning.
It's a good spice to put in stuffing. Anyway, yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all you guys out on YouTube. Welcome, and hope you're having a good Friday so far. Lenny, what what are you looking at? I didn't see your list there.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen now for the variable traders chat room. One moment. So yeah, I think there's could be fun today. I think we got something on our watch list. Oracle might be interesting. I think they have a very beautiful opening range breakout a couple of days ago on Tuesday when they had the earnings. I think there's
Yeah, it's up
many
again,
stocks who yeah, continue.
again today.
Yeah, and I think that many stocks are trading a little bit independent from each other and independent from the rest of the market. For example, Meta doesn't look that great in the pre-market. Actually, it's sold off. Apple looking strong. You got the catalyst in BA, perhaps even
AMD
Adobe.
is popping up a bit here.
AMD, yes. I think
Kind of.
AMD. Many people
I'm
a favorite
kind of-
stock to have on the watch list.
I'm kind of liking PDD.
PDD.
Thinking it might be a decent, might be a rising devil trade. So in other words, it's gonna do a bit of a pop up at the open and might give us an opportunity to short it.
Yeah, maybe 90.20 could be an interesting level in a PDD. This is the low of a couple of
Yeah.
days ago. It's basically the low of September.
Yeah, I'm looking. So VWAP on PDD is 92.50. Get there. Other area, yeah, 92.50 looks like a good place to go short if we do get there.
Yeah, it looks definitely weak in the pre-market in PDD. You see the sell-off, aggressive sell-off getting more steep, and then we see some kind of a wedge, right? The higher lows and
Yeah.
lower highs from the top, and now breaking below it. So it's definitely a weak sign, if you ask me.
AMD's
It's interesting.
AMD is kind of interesting. We've got orders at 153, 154, 155. Nvidia's popping. Yeah, AMD is looking
Lots of
strong
volume
as well.
in Nvidia.
So AMD could be interesting.
Yeah. And 30 million shares traded in Nvidia already. That's good volume. At least definitely enough to put it on my watch list.
Yeah. All
Tesla
right,
also
guys,
doing
let's
its own thing, by the way, in the pre-market.
let's make sure we make it a green day. Try our best.
And be careful, it's Friday. Right?
Yeah.
You might be a little bit tired from the week. And
Yeah.
I think it's always good to be very careful in trading, and especially on a Friday before the weekend starts. I'm sorry.
I don't go with this Friday the 13th stuff. I'm not like a suspicious person, but like I said, like Peter said, if you're not feeling a trade, if it's not feeling right, there's no trade is an option. So you don't have to take a trade. Markets will be here on Monday morning.
Yes, and I think even if you do not take a trade on a specific day, I think it's only a good sign, because it meant that you have been trading disciplined, that you have been showing inhibition. I think that's only a good sign.
See what happens on AMD's pulling back a bit now. Maybe we'll get an opportunity, because it does look like there's orders to the upside on AMD.
Yeah, I like also about AMD, from all the big tech names, it's the strongest one. MU is up 0.8%, Nvidia is around 0, and AMD is 0.2%. The strongest of the tech names. So
You got 30 minutes or 30 seconds, I should say.
yes, let's go.
I was going to watch Uber too, but it's a pretty squirrely right now.
Yeah, pretty tight range in Uber right now, between 72
Yeah.
and 73. Let's see if the
It's
bottom
throwing
can
a lot
hold.
it's throwing a lot of wiki candles around the VWAP. So here we go. Ding, ding, ding.
Good luck today, all.
Good luck. Okay, I got a short on PDD, 92.20.
I like the volume in PDD,
Yeah,
430%
let's see.
R vol.
Question is, you're going to squeeze me out here. Let's see. Oh, AMD's popping.
Boeing has some volume open strong, but not.
Just dropped. AMD just dropped. Wow.
I don't like the fact that BA, Boeing, is still in its daily range. I prefer to see a gap up or a gap down.
Okay, I don't like the fact that PDD didn't pull back, so I'm going to get out of this. There is some big orders to the downside, but I'm out of it for now.
It's a bit difficult
It's
to
not
make a new
trading.
1
It's not
minute high
trading
for
very
now.
clean. A lot of chop right now with look at AMD popped up and really pulled back. Qs are rolling over. Same with the SPY. Yeah, PDD is already popping up higher here. So the downside, or the side I didn't like about PDD, was it already had a big drop, so it didn't make it an ideal rising devil trade. That's why I didn't stick around in it, because it had a big drop on probably earnings back in end of August there. And it's pulling back again now, getting a pop back up on stuff.
You could perhaps be interesting a little bit later on. Unity Software. They stayed above the yesterday high. Yesterday was a very strong day. Pre-market was strong. Was some bottoming after the open and a squeeze up. Now it's a little bit late.
Yeah, see, PDD just kind of squeezed me out here. It's back down. All right, let's just wait, because things are pretty choppy right now. Oh, Tesla's popping up here. Wow, Tesla's trying to go green.
You could be interesting to see if it's going to hold above the pre-market high. Last candle retested pre-market high. Perhaps it's going to hold above it. Could be a strong sign. It retested, it held.
Yeah, Tesla just went green.
Unity just made a new high and broke out.
Yeah, I just got along some Tesla through 230.50. There's 230. There's yesterday's high, which I'm looking for 231 break. if I do get a break here, I'll get out of it because I'm just going to scalp it. Here we go. Just going to take profits here. So I'm all out of it. 231.15.
Very nice.
think
Quick
it might.
scalp.
It's going to pull. It's going to pull back here. That's what I'm guessing. Because this was yesterday's high. That's why I don't want to hold on to it.
SPY and Qs have been strong in the last couple of minutes.
Hitting R3 too.
I think Boeing so far looks very choppy. A lot of overlap in the candles.
Yeah, Boeing's not looking very. It's not looking that interesting. Tesla might
Very
break out
tricky
here.
stock like Boeing. Yes. There's strength in the market, and also in Tesla.
Yeah. Tesla does have some more orders up here, 235 to 238, 239. Order book's pretty bullish.
Uber is just extremely choppy, just from the opening range, trading within it, small candles. There's some significant volume, but there's just no volatility in Uber. So for now, it's not interesting for me. Adobe also pretty erratic. Came down, came up, came down again.
Yeah, a lot of chop. The only thing that kind of broke
Oracle's
out
full
cleanly was Tesla.
Yeah. Oracle's sold off. We've so far after the open only weakness, forming a bear channel, and there's of course a lot of room to the short, to the downside, so it could sell off further. Actually, Oracle got pumped up right before the market opened, and the price is used to get rid of some shares. So perhaps later we can find a continuation setup or ABCD setup to the short side in Oracle. Tesla could also be still continue further.
Looking at this pullback on Tesla to get long, maybe.
Very nice
Thinking
low
about
volume in the pullback.
Yeah.
But I think you want to see the bottom hold right now. So far we just
Yeah.
made a new low.
AMD's breaking out again. Oh, there goes NVIDIA.
I think the issue with Oracle looks very weak, but now we had the bear channel and we broke down the bear channel. So now it's a little bit extended.
Yeah, Oracle's really
perhaps-
selling off here.
Yeah, it could be interesting to watch for a pullback and then see a lot of continued selling pressure. But we definitely need a couple of more minutes to assess a potential continuation. Do you see Tesla, another low volume pullback candle? I think it looks strong.
Yeah, I just got long some. I'm just going to use some
I
options
also
here,
like to go
just
long.
for a laugh. I'm long Tesla. I'm using options this time. It's a big order at 233. I don't like that. Let's see, let's push. Didn't like the way it
Best.
didn't keep going there. That's not good. Didn't kind of false breakout there.
Yep. Also fell together with a sell-off in the SPY and the Q this minute. Perhaps if the candle closed green, could still be strong.
Come on, Tesla.
And now we all see some bottoming in Tesla. They could be interesting, Tesla.
I'm gonna sell some of my options. The options I'm trading are 232.50s. They expire at the end of today. So trading options that are very close to being in the money. And
I like how Tesla looks like.
Short expiry date.
Yeah. So we see really like a bottoming pattern at 936, 937, 938, right? We see like from the bottom, the wicks with the reversed head and shoulders pattern. And we got some confirmation candles on higher volume. I think Tesla looks pretty good, but there also seems to be some selling from the top side. So let's see if we can conquer the selling pressure, but I'm confident. At least I see higher probability for another move up. So Oracle sold also further off. On the 2-minute chart, we can really see the bear channel still intact.
I'm really not liking the. Wishing Tesla would just show some, give us. Oh, there we go. There's a little volume, little price
On the
move.
2-minute chart, it also looks very nice.
Still don't. I don't like it the way it's trading. Just doesn't seem to be any enthusiastic buyers. There seem to be sellers there that are keeping it from going higher. And I'm just going to get out. I think I'm going to get out of the rest of these. So that was an okay trade. And back green here with my Tesla trades.
Yeah, I think there seems to be some.
The book is bullish, but there doesn't seem to be wanting to go there. Wow, Nvidia just pulled back pretty hard.
Well, there seems to be some selling pressure in the top of Tesla getting pushed down, but at the same time, it's also getting held down a little bit by the SPY and by the Qs. I think.
Yeah.
In general, it looks a bit stronger.
Like I said, the book is bullish, but I just with options you have to be really careful because they can pull the rug out from underneath you. Tesla is a good stock to trade options because they're very liquid. But yeah. Still, it looks like it wants to break out again.
There's the volume signal as well in Tesla, 941.
There's a seller there at, Oracle's been a great short. I don't know if anybody has taken that trade.
I was looking for an entry in Oracle. I was looking for a nice pullback. But I don't see any clear pattern. If there's such a clear trend happening where every candle seems to be weak, I'm looking for different kind of patterns in the price action to take it short. But I could not find an entry in Oracle. But yes, it's a very beautiful sell-off. The top line and the bottom line really held.
Oracle does have a big gap to fill. It's right at S3.
Perhaps right now there could be a pattern like a 3-bar play on Oracle, low volume. Now the question, do you have the guts to get in because it's quite extended already?
Yeah, so worried about it. There's definitely a seller on Tesla at 232, sort of 30 area. They're just sitting there, hitting the hitting the bid. The cumulative volume delta on Tesla is sort of flat. So the CVD, this measures the amount of people that are buying versus selling, and it's just it's essentially zero right now when you take one and subtract the other. So same amount of people buying as selling. Yeah, there's that drop on Tesla that that's what I was worried about. When a stock keeps banging its head on a level, there's a seller there. So it's always a question as to whether who's going to prevail. Is the seller just going to stay there, or are they going to eventually move out of the way? But quite often what happens if you stay too long at a level and people are expecting a breakout, they get impatient. Wow, now NVIDIA and AMD are dropping. Yeah, not an easy morning for if you guys are struggling out there. This is not an easy morning. There were some pretty clean moves on some stocks, but if you like to trade AMD or if you like to trade NVIDIA, pretty choppy price action on those two. Not much has happened yet with the SPY and the Qs.
Yes, it's definitely not an easy morning. A lot of chop also in the stocks in play, like the Boeing.
Yeah. Oracle was looking strong in it, and I don't know. There were just sellers just waiting there for the market to open. I guess this big gap up. It's really it was beginning of the week. It was trading around 140. And now at the high of this candle was close to 175. So a lot of people in here that if they were in, and there's a lot of volume traded in and around this 140 area. If you look at the daily chart, you got to think that there's a lot of people that are just looking at this thing, thinking I'm going to cash out and I'm going to have a party this weekend. So, I didn't watch it because I didn't really like the way it was trading in the pre-market. It really wasn't doing anything. So nice trade. One of our members in the room, ST, took Oracle short. Very nice.
I'm also now in a short in Oracle, by the way, but I get out at break even, just a quick scalp. I want to see it held everything.
Yeah.
But I'm getting out at break even, so no loss is possible. I entered like a minute or 4 ago.
Big drop on Tesla there, down to the VWAP. Came back up. Yeah, the only thing that worries me about Oracle is we're into sort of this S3, S4 area. This is where this is the area Thor likes to look for trend changes. All right, the SPY is breaking out. The index that's doing really well today is IWM, small caps. Up almost 1.5%. Okay, I'm kind of sitting on my hands right now because I'm green on the day, and I just not seeing any setups that I really like. So sorry if I'm being a little boring here right now, but we'll still keep looking for some trades.
It's a perfect time to ask for those likes.
Yeah, hopefully some of our YouTube people were making money today. Please give us a like. give us a Friday like. Go into the weekend feeling good. I gave them a
It's
thumbs
really
up,
appreciated.
and it was free.
I think you was also pretty interesting after the open because of the extreme strength yesterday. Pre-market looks strong. I have it here shared on my screen. There was some bottoming, then we moved up. We retested the pre-market high twice in 932 and 933. We held above the pre-market high and then it moved.
So which one was that one you were talking about? Sorry.
Unity software.
Oh, Unity. Yeah.
These are
Yeah,
some
I didn't
classic
look at
signs
that
of
at all.
strength after the open.
Again, not a big move, but it and it took a couple minutes before it decided to break out. But yeah, decent move on you. Yeah, look at Tesla. Tesla's rolling over. What's the rest of the market doing here? AMD rolling over, testing low of the pre-market. Yeah, look at. I mean, this is not a nice day trading chart. If you're a momentum trader like me, it's just AMD just super choppy. So as far as next week goes, our big the big event, obviously, this is this is going to be highly anticipated. We're going to get Fed Wednesday
Yes.
rate cut decision.
So what do you think? 0.5% or 0.2.5%?
I think they're going to go quarter point. But I'm just looking at the Fed watch tool right now, September 18th. It is almost 50-50. It's 47% for a 50-point rate cut. It's 53% for a quarter point. So the odds went up. The actual odds went up quite a bit because it was, last time I looked, it was about, yesterday it was 28%. Now it's 47%. Anyway,
Yeah.
if you
So the market speculates
want to go
like 50-50.
if you want to go by the Fed watch tool, that's the odds-on favorite. So Tesla down, the test is actually below the VWAP. Possible 920 trade here.
And I think Tesla tricked quite some people today with their first.
Yeah.
It was clearly stronger than the market, increasing volume, and then the market turned around. Market became strong, and Tesla turned out to be weak.
Yeah. Again, not an easy Friday.
Brian, just to add to the rate decision next week, we do plan to live stream live.
Okay.
When it is
There
happening.
you go.
So we'll give more details soon, but that's the plan.
Awesome. Yeah, we did this with NVIDIA earnings. We had a bunch of our moderators on during that event, just for and we do plan on doing this every sort of, I would call it a major news event. Obviously, NVIDIA earnings were highly anticipated. And this Fed decision is going to be quite interesting as well, obviously.
Yeah, I think we can see really a lot of fun happening that day. Market might gonna respond disappointed on a 0.2.5% hike, but on 0.5% hike, we might gonna see a lot of enthusiasm in the market. So yeah, the SPY has been looking pretty strong in the last couple of days. Really strong recovery. So the daily chart looks like it wants to retest use range high.
Uber popped up here. Let's see what the book looks like. Book looks pretty strong through 73 and 74. We're getting
So
into
technically
again.
now we
We're
got a
getting.
5-minute overview.
I wouldn't be taking it long here just because we're into an area where there's been prior resistance just in the pre-market.
Yeah, and I will also
AMD
be a
is-
bit careful because the price action has been
AMD
very
is-
choppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at AMD. AMD is looking like it wants to drop here. It's sitting right at yesterday's high. Again, I don't like to short something here because it's kind of an area where they can see some support. So again, very choppy today, guys. So if you've got some profitable trades off, congrats. And just don't force any trades right now because again, market's not. It's a Friday, and the markets are really kind of seems like they're taking a bit of a breather here today. We've had a pretty good week.
Yeah, Oracle just broke down. Finally, it made a pullback, which was not really a pullback since 9:45, more like a consolidation. So a pause in the selling. Now we broke down. So now the question is going to be a failed breakdown, or we're going to continue to move further. So far, the odds seem a little bit higher for a sell-off.
Yeah, the one thing that like again, people who've been following me, that I like the 2-minute chart. They know I like the 9 and the 20 EMA. I always like to use the 9 EMA for a trend. And if you look at Oracle, it's really just a nice drop at the open, and then consolidation, literally consolidated back, sort of flatlined until the price got right to the 9 EMA and then rejected it. So that's a pretty clean and clear signal that we are still in a downtrend on Oracle. There goes Tesla. Tesla just went red. See, this is why I didn't want to chase Uber up here, because this push back up to this 7270 area. This was an area in the pre-market where we stalled.
Yeah, I think the issue in Uber is also like basically from 930 all the way to 953, the price action has been choppy, like no volatility, just moving in a range. Then it breaks out, but I think it could also be the fact that it has been so choppy before. I think it's a bad predictor for potentially good price action. So I would like to see a little bit more signs of a clear trend after it breaks out choppy price action to consider it potential trade. And now you see also Uber indeed that it rejects, but also because of that selling pressure area that you mentioned, Brian.
Yeah. NVIDIA is really not doing much of anything, just sort of chopping along here. It's 119 area, 118.80.
Still look at Oracle. You see the volume dropping a little bit. We're still now we're now on the bottom of
Yeah.
the range. Considering taking a small partial because it made a new lower low without continuation. So I'm just gonna
Let's take a look at what Oracle looks like here on Bookmap. Again, that pop up right to right to the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. Complete rejection right there. I'm sure there's some algos out there that just using the same chart I am.
So what does Bookmap say, Brian?
There is another order here at 165. We've tried to dip into it a few times here. There's not much, there aren't too many institutions that are waiting below there. So there aren't any orders stacked at 163 or once there's no orders there at all. No. So not to say it can't, that doesn't mean it can't go lower, but I'm not seeing, there's no orders there. So yeah, we're going to lose 165 maybe. This S4 is at 162, 3-ish. But again, very thin order there. Oh,
the order book is very thin.
Flashed there at 162, they pulled it.
What I like about it, Oracle, that you see that the range is pretty tight. The consolidation is pretty tight. The candles are relatively small. It's not erratic. It's not moving up and down a lot.
Yeah.
That's an indication of continuation, but let's see. Suddenly the buyers could come in, that's for sure, because we already made a move down.
Yeah. So we had at 10 a.m., 10 a.m. we had, I think, consumer sentiment number. I'm not sure what that number came out at. Let's see, what did you get, Tom?
Yeah.
One of our members, Tom, traded Tesla. Very nice. Got it at the open on a breakout. I got to catch up in my scrolling here. Yeah,
Boeing now breaking down. Okay, continue.
I'm almost thinking Oracle is going to start to bounce here, just because of the order book. There's orders to the upside, but nothing to the downside to speak of. Maybe a little bit of an order, but I'd be cautious here.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Definitely some. At
We were right back.
167.
We're right back to the 9 EMA right now. Very close. God, PDD has been strong. Didn't see that coming.
Interesting, right? Sometimes when we see a gap down, everything looks weak. But I think also like this, when it's really gapping down, also especially in the bottom of a range, it could also attract the buyers who are seeing the bargain in the price action. The cheap buy.
This 165 level is an area they seem to try to want to hold here.
Yeah, now we're also forming basically a range since 955. Volatility is a little bit gone. What I like about it, you see like low volume in the candles up in 10, 10, 10.02 and 10.03. You see the low volume. candles still small, low volatility candles. But yeah, it also seemed to have died down a little bit. So it's really, it's really about
AMD
weighing all the
bouncing back
factors
up
against
here.
each other. I got my stop loss almost at break even, so I won't be able to lose anymore in the trade. It's basically like a
Yeah. Well,
risk-free trade.
I think you've already partialed. So
Yes, I was
yeah,
a little
so it's
partial.
so it's a green trade regardless.
I think it's the same with Boeing. If you look at Boeing, it looks pretty choppy. And then we saw this breakdown a couple of minutes ago, like at 10:02, and then it could fake a lot of traders to get in. But before that moment, the price action was really choppy, so it looks very decisive. It looks like it's gonna break out, but it's just a breakout from very choppy price action, so that it's not really trustworthy. So we're seeing ENVX climbing a little bit. If you look at ENVX, do you see anything in it? 340% RVOL, so there is some elevated RVOL. I think it's for sure a
AMD's
little bit late
breaking
for
out. NVIDIA breaking out here. The NVIDIA order book is really bullish. So it doesn't mean that we're going there because it's been like this for a while.
Yeah, there's definitely bigger asks stacked to the top side in NVIDIA.
Yeah, I'm just going to get long a little NVIDIA at 119.40. See if we can get a push back up to to 120 maybe.
To the high of the day. I like the increasing volume in the last couple of minutes in NVIDIA. Qs are now fighting at the high of their day as well.
Yeah, Qs are bouncing back. What was the sentiment? What about Tesla? I don't know. Tesla's back at the VWAP. Yeah, definitely. See, it did kind of the same thing it did at the open. Came up to that 232.50. Just couldn't get above it, so it sold off. Now it went down to that 228.75. Couldn't go any lower because there were buyers, and it's popped back up again. So AMD we're at high of day now. Come on, NVIDIA. Should have gone with AMD. Concern right now is this prior high earlier in the day, 119.93.
I like it AMD holding above the pre-market high. Like the last two candles, the current candle and the last minute, it's really bouncing off pre-market high, which is a strong sign.
AMD is probably would have been the better bet. Yeah, look at AMD. AMD's got a big order here at 153. Qs are breaking out by the looks of it. SPY's at high of day. It's definitely a seller there at 119.50 on NVIDIA.
Interesting candle now in AMD. Low volume, bouncing again off pre-market high. I think it definitely would make sense to consider AMD for a long. It's about like, can you get a good risk to reward? Perhaps see some more confirmation.
Wow.
Okay, now we broke the bottom. Now it's not good anymore.
Wow, what a nice VWAP rejection on Tesla. I don't know if anyone took that.
Oracle. Yeah, by the way, Oracle just broke down. That's nice.
Okay.
Also showed a nice.
Yeah.
If anyone can see my screen.
All right.
Yeah, it was unfortunate AMD couldn't hold at the bottom of the last couple of.
Yeah, same with Tesla or NVIDIA. I'm kind of on the verge of stopping out here. It's kind of got to hold this level or I'm out. Yeah, just couldn't push through that 119.50 seller. I'm out of it. Oh well.
That's too bad. Perhaps we can find something else again.
It's okay.
Today.
Again, that was kind of an example of a trade I probably shouldn't have taken because it was pushing up into an area where there was prior resistance.
So would you consider ENVX for a trade now? I think the price tag looks interesting, but I don't think it's good enough for me to take an entry. You really see the trend up, pullback. I also don't like the fact that relative low volume per candle.
All right. Well,
Many stocks continue their choppy price action again. Uber as well.
yeah. Look at NVIDIA's really just NVIDIA's going to be stuck in this trading range.
Oracle low of the day again. I'm thinking maybe take a little partial. Might gonna
see what is Oracle. Yeah, Oracle has some more. Now they've built some more orders to the downside, so that's
it's a very interesting sell-off because you see it's not really moving very fast, but you see like it's sold off, clear channel, range without significant pullback, another small range without significant pullback, another small range. So it clearly seems that the sellers are stronger, but it's not really going very fast. So I'm gonna go for a final push to 164. Could be nice. 165.50.
Yeah, Oracle's got more downside probably. Oracle might even go red on the day, the rate it's going. Again, keeps using that 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart to as resistance, and so that means to me that says it's still in a downtrend.
Yeah. Question is, I also definitely could see it go red for the day, or even close below the yesterday's close. But I also think there could be meanwhile first come a big pullback, stopping everyone out, and then it makes the move. So that's a little bit tricky to hold it all day. Therefore, I like to take a little bit quicker partial. So SPY and Q again coming to the high of the day.
Yeah, it's just there isn't there isn't a whole lot of convicted buying yet, so it's just we're just kind of range bound.
Did you see MU? Perhaps could be interesting to take a look at the other semiconductor.
Yeah,
Right? It's the one actually the strongest, 4.2% up.
Yeah.
Really forming a trend. But I don't think the trend is that clean. Wayfair also breaking out now. I had it on my watch list on a secondary or even a C list. It broke out from the daily range. Price action didn't really look clean during the day.
Qs and SPY are SPY is at high of day now. Same with the Qs. We're right back at high of day. So maybe we're going to break out again here.
Yeah, the markets are positive ahead of the Fed decision of next week.
Yeah,
like they almost have been for 2 years straight, basically. No, not 2 straight, 1 year, maybe. I think we've been in an uptrend in the SPY pretty long. So let's see where there might have been some good moves. What did other people trade it in the room?
Again, AMD, NVIDIA sort of favorites, just choppy. Tesla breaking down again, sort of back to this 228.50 level that it seems to be trying to hold. But just be careful with Tesla if you're long. We're making some. We made a lower high on that pullback around 1010.
Yeah, I think Tesla looked really strong at the beginning, right? When we entered, really strong price action. But then, yeah, indeed, it was this seller just keeping pushing the price down. And then Tesla turned around, especially compared with the market.
Hey, Brian and Lenny, just letting you know
Yes.
that at 10:30 we're going to have Mike on, and he's going to talk about how to change your unwanted behavior in the market.
All right.
Awesome.
Something everyone to look forward to. As may or may not know, in trading is a 90% a mental game. Really, it's just whether you can maintain your discipline. Because if you have a trading book or a trading plan, which you should be developing or have, you should have specific setups that you like to trade, and that includes entries and where you stop out. And where most traders fail is in the emotional side of trading, where you follow your trading plan and you to the point where you get in and then you don't honor your stops, and then let your losses explode, or you just get upset because one trade didn't go well, and you just take another trade that's not even part of your trading plan, and so having discipline and is extremely important in trading.
Yeah. Also, like John said it yesterday, very nice, or this week, he said, sometimes when your day goes bad, you tend to make it only worse. So like one of the psychological aspect in trading is really like understanding when you have a bad day, when you're not trading well, when you're not focused, when the market's not doing your way, to not lose more than you need to. Just be able to have the discipline to stop trading and come back when you feel better again. That's so important in trading.
So a question, how does option flow affect stock prices? Sometimes, not first off, not all options affect stock prices. I mean, but in certain circumstances, when there's a lot of option activity, you can certainly those options can certainly impact the price of the underlying security. So you get what's called the biggest sort of effect is called the gamma squeeze. It's when you get a lot of option buying or option selling. A lot of the selling is done by institutions, and so what they do is, if you buy an option, that means there's somebody on the other side of that trade selling you the option. So it's often an institution, not always. Like I like to sell options on occasion, but usually a lot of the option selling is done by institutions, and they're very methodical and in selling those options, because obviously there's a risk, a much higher risk in selling options. So they'll buy an appropriate amount of, if they sell you a call option, make sure they have an appropriate amount of stock in their portfolio to cover that option. And so if the stock starts moving rapidly, that forces them to buy more stock. So it's like buying begets buying. So it can cause a squeeze, a gamma squeeze. It's referred to, and you saw that with GameStop. You had people just buying options and institutions selling them, and then buying buying GameStop, and that's really where it just went, as they say, to the moon. So anyway, there's a number of ways that the underlying options can influence stock price. Yeah. So that's kind of just one of them. But I cover that in my book if you're interested. How to trade options. There's a number of quite a few topics in there. Some of the ways I trade options, both day trade and swing trade options. So it's how to trade options. It's available on Amazon, and I talk about the gamma squeeze as well in that. But in answer to you asked about a positive, negative, positive, gamma, negative, positive, gamma. I'm not really sure what that is. Gamma squeeze. There you go, John. Something else out there. If you're interested, I do a weekend review on YouTube. So if you're interested, it's it's public. You can check it out. Just go over what happened in the markets last week, some swing trades I did, and
I watch it every week. It's good.
Yeah,
It's very good. It's like a nice part of the preparation for the next week again.
just a brief recap of what happened and what we got to land, and really more try to focus on what's coming up in the coming week, earnings, economic events. Obviously, the big one is going to be the Wednesday Fed rate decision. It's going to be interesting to see how the market reacts. If they only get a quarter point, is that going to be a disappointment in the market? Is a half a point going to be, seen as a red flag? Is the market falling apart? Is the economy falling apart that the Fed needs to drop a half point? So it's going to be, the decision is going to be one thing. If the reaction in the market is going to really be the interesting part after, and that's as Brent mentioned earlier in the session. That's why we're going to have a special YouTube live session where we're going to cover the decision that's going to come out at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday.
Yes.
So
awesome.
we've again, things are really tentative. We got up to, what was that, R3 on Camarilla pivots on the Qs, and couldn't push higher. The SPY pulling back now after breaking out. Again, pretty choppy session here.
Yeah, I think
Oracle is finally looking like it's going to try to break the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart here. It's been flatlining for about 20 minutes now, or consolidating.
it's really in a
anyway.
range. It's really in a range now.
Yeah, NVIDIA is starting to break down a bit here.
It's still holding the top of the range though, Oracle, so it could still break down. I got a position left a little bit below this range, and my stop loss is also in the profit. So it was a nice winning trade, Oracle.
Nice.
Yeah, I think 10:30 has arrived. Well, it was a pleasure trading with all of you. If you
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Great to trade with you, Lenny. Good trade on Oracle there. And yeah, so PDD didn't work out exactly as trading plan, but again, I have a trading plan. I know when I'm going to stop out, so limited my my loss on that, and then made it back on Tesla. So yeah, but again, if you struggled a little bit today, it has not been a super clean day. There were a few nice moves like Oracle, nice breakdown. Didn't really see that coming, but don't usually see a stock gapping up and trading above the VWAP just break down like that. But that's what we had. So wow, yeah,
It's now trying to break down
wow,
again.
Qs and the SPY are really starting to break down there. So
Well, with that, we have Mike
With
ready
that.
to go. So if you guys
All
want to
right.
say goodbye, we'll switch over the mic.
Yes, everybody have a great weekend, and hope you had a decent day, Lenny. Good to trade with you.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm about to reach my target in Oracle, and then I'm also profitable for the day. Small, like a loss on Tesla, and now the win on Oracle. It was very awesome to trade with you guys, and also with you, Brian. I believe
Yeah.
Monday again. And yeah, if you like my trading, you check out my course on Trading Terminal. It's a complete course on opening range, break trading directly after the open. Yeah, so thank you, Brian, and I wish you all a great day and a great evening and a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. You're fortunate. Mike's a great educator, and stay tuned because he'll have lots of great information to share with you. So there you go. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye, people.
Good morning,
Hey,
Mike.
everybody. Hey, good morning, Brett. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
It looks like I'm the only one here today, huh?
Yes.
Carlos,
We're
Peter,
still
they
having
took off, they
scheduling
ran.
issues, yeah.
They
With
ran
Andrew
away,
gone,
didn't they?
we had to shuffle things around. He's climbing a mountain, so
Yeah, that's kind of how it works, right? So it's all good, though. I mean, hey, so how have you been?
I've been pretty good. And today you're going to talk to us about how to change your unwanted behavior in the market. So that's going to be a great topic. And for those in the BBT chat room, those in YouTube, please ask us some questions. We'll get them to them at the end of Mike's little webinar.
Ooh, it's a webinar. Scary. I
Well, I
thought I
guess
was
not
having a
webinar.
conversation, but
More
hey,
of a, yeah,
we could do that. So
more of a talk, I guess.
I'm good like that, though. I can do both those things. I shoot from the hip sometimes. So hey, how's everybody doing this wonderful morning on Friday the 13th? Hopefully you didn't have any crazy stuff going on. Peter didn't come and slash you with his Friday the 13th Michael outfit that he had. It's always fun seeing him. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you about changing your unwanted behavior, right, in the market. Let's think about it. We all have behavior that we express in the market that we don't want. And that's usually through revenge trading, exiting trades early, taking on too much risk, not stopping out. I mean, there's a plethora, not getting into a trade, fear of missing out and going and chasing a trade, right? That right there is the behavior. Well, if you want to change that behavior, normally people think, right? Oh, I just have to put a rule in place. Or, hey, I'm not going to do that again. I'll just be conscious of it. I'll make sure I don't do it. But what ends up happening, right, is that emotion gets involved again. And then the behavior reoccurs and it reoccurs. And you just end up in this spiral, right? Of why can't I stop whatever X behavior it is that I want to stop. And people don't understand that. Well, way back when I was in the military, we actually did, well, not me or we, but the military did a study on how do you change behavior. And behavior is actually a reaction to your attitude, or in our case, right, our emotions that we have in trading, right? These are our emotions that we have in trading. And then when we think about our emotions, what drives those? And actually, it's our values that we hold as people. So if you want to change, right, your behavior, which is down here, in order to do that, you need to make sure that you change how you're viewing that or the value that you hold. And I'll just give you a quick example, right? Think about I'm trying not to get into the political realm, but it's just so easy for people to understand. So I'm going to do it. Trust me, it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on this, but just think about this. When you are having a conversation with somebody that you love, right? Family member, spouse, whatever, and you're at the dinner table and you get into that dreaded topic of politics that everybody says, don't talk about politics, don't talk about money, don't talk about religion with family, right? Why is that? It's because of this value that we hold. All of us hold certain values, right? And trust me, I'm going to tie this into trading here for you. So we hold this value of what life should be, and we've been brought up that way, and it's deeply rooted in us. And so when we talk about that and somebody disagrees with it or pokes a hole or challenges us on it, that value ignites an attitude or an emotion, right, that gets us fired up. And then our behavior, we start yelling, we start not talking, we start getting heated arguments, we get upset, and we just have this, we don't act our normal way, right? We've all been in those situations. I'm sure at some point you've covered one of those three. Well, the same thing occurs in trading, right? And this is where I'm going to tie it back in. The value, right, that we all hold is around money. All of us were born into a family and we were raised with money being maybe a scarcity. Maybe we had an abundance of money. Maybe our parents looked at money and just spent the money and never saved anything, and it caused turmoil. Maybe our parents saved all of the money and never spent it, and it caused issues. But you were brought up to value money in some way, shape, or form. So when we get into trading, we carry that value in. And when we lose money or we make a ton of money, we start to get these attitudes or emotions, right? We dislike losing money. We hate feeling like a failure because we can't provide for our family or for us, or we've put our family in danger, right? Because we've lost the money and now we've tapped into our savings, or that money was used for something else. So then the behavior that we start to express in the market is, well, I got to get that money back. So I got to go revenge trade. I got to get that money back somehow. Oh, I need to protect that money that I've made. So I'm going to exit early because I see green on my screen, right? So how do we change this, right? If values affect our attitudes or emotions, which then in turn affect our behavior, how do we change that? And if you want to go to the next, oh, wait, I got the screen share. Why am I asking you?
You got control.
I got the controls, right? The way you do this is you change where your focus is in trading, right? Instead of being money focused, and focusing on, did I make money today? Did I lose money today? And after your trading day, you're either happy because you made it or you're sad because you lost it. And it now then affects the rest of your day with the people that you're interacting with. Change that focus of, hey, yes, I want to make money, but in order to make money, I just need to put on good trades that meet my setup that I know that works. So you have to put an emphasis on the value of being excellent, right? This value emphasizes doing the right thing, maintaining high standards, prioritizing ethical behavior over financial gain. And what do we talk about ethical behavior? That is getting out at your stop loss, even though you lost money. Getting out is a good thing. And when you can start to shift that focus to wanting to put on good trades and being an excellent trader and putting the value into that, you will start to see your attitudes and your emotions shift, because you will gain pride in, hey, I stopped out. So what? I followed my plan. Excellent trade. It met my setup. It went in my direction. I stuck to my trade management plan. I wasn't supposed to take a partial. It went against me. I got stopped out. The probability wasn't it didn't happen for me that time. But then the next trade happens, and that time you get to it. Both trades are good trades, whether you made money or lost money, because you took a good setup, you executed it properly, and you got out when you were supposed to. So you can be happy about it. You can have pride in your performance. And what that's going to lead to is that your market behavior is going to start to become disciplined. You're not going to worry about a loss you take, because you know that if you stick to your plan and you put on excellent trades and you value that you put on excellent trades and that you have pride in your performance, you are going to get the next trade that's going to make you money. And slowly over time, as your mind starts to shift away from being focused on money, which I hate to tell you, you don't control whether you're going to make money or lose money each day in the market. There's a ton of big whales out there that are going to determine which direction a stock is going to go. So, but what you can do when you start to focus only on the process and putting good trades on is that every day, no matter what, you can have a good day because you put on good trades, and you can end that and you can live your life happy and go out and live the life that you want to. Some days you're going to make money, some days you're going to lose money. But if you have a plan that works, over time, you're going to continuously rake in the money, because normally and typically with traders, it's the 1 or 2 days that you go on tilt that you allow that behavior to overrun and eat up all the profits that you made in 3 weeks are gone in a day, because you got mad because 2 trades went against you or something else. So that's how we end up becoming a disciplined trader. And I will tell you, it's about how you evaluate yourself at the end of the day. Common question everybody asks: how was your trading day? What's your answer? Do you go, oh, it was great, I'm green on the day. Oh, I made some money. Or, oh, I lost some money. Oh, I'm bad, right? You know where your mind's focused. People ask me, hey, Mike, how was your trading day? Great. Put on 3 great trades. I don't care if I'm green or I'm red, right? I only care about putting on good trades because I want to be a disciplined trader, and I value excellence over making money, which sounds weird, right? Except when you start to do that, that excellence brings the money that you're looking for. So that's there. I open to questions. I wasn't planning. I thought we would have some conversation, but I know Brent's here. So, oh, Gary L.
I'm here, but I'm sure a lot of people in the chat room have questions, so send them to Mike.
Yeah. So Gary L's saying the way I think is that the only thing I can control is how much I can lose on a trade. That's right, Gary L. You control that. You control when you get into a trade, you control where you put your stop, and you control whether you stop out or whether you decide not to, right? That's that process that you focus in on, right? That's how you do it. And we got a question here. How do you control FOMO? It goes back again to this value, right, of being excellent. If my trade plan says get in at X level, and I look at the trade and it goes to X level, but then it goes past it, and I'm like, oh, I missed the trade. I need to get in now. I'm not being an excellent trader. I'm not sticking to my plan. So even if I make money on that trade, I know that's not my plan, and I'm just gambling at that point because the probabilities are not in my favor according to my trade book. When you get that trade book and you know, hey, if I take my setup, I have a 78% probability of this trade going in my favor, you'll take the trades when they appear. And the flip side is also true. When you know that you missed a trade and it's not your setup, and you know the probability of winning is 38%, you quickly start to realize, do I really want to put money at risk for a 38% chance that this is gonna work out? And the answer is no, you don't. Because you lost it the other 62% of the time. So you're like, I don't need to do that anymore, right? Like you want to get rid of that very, very quickly. So that's how you control the FOMO. You control it by looking to be an excellent trader and emphasizing good process over going and chasing trades and needing to have money in your account at the end of the day.
Mike, I got a comment in YouTube, and I'm just going to paraphrase this a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
So how do you stay positive when, you're kind of on a winning streak, then all of a sudden you have 2 losing days, and that just kind of brings you down? No matter, you had that good streak, but a day or 2 of losses can really bring you down. How do you stay positive when that happens?
Yeah, excellent question. Because I'll tell you, having 2 or 3 red days in a row, or 4 red days in a row, or 5 red days in a row, it can really, really hurt you emotionally, right? But again, I go back to this. If you're green for those 4 or 5 days and that's what you're focusing on, right? When you have those red days, it's going to emotionally beat you up. But look at it this way. If during those green days you were focusing on putting on good trades, and that's all you were evaluating, I had 5 days of good trades. And then you come in on the 6th day and you go, okay, I'm in the market. And you put on 3 good trades and they all fail. And so you're red. You hit max loss for the day. You're like, okay. But you followed your plan. You know that in the end, the probabilities are in your favor. It just so happens, maybe that day in the market, your strategy wasn't working well because you're a high-a-day trader and the market's selling off. So you were getting a lot of false breakouts in the process, right? So you look at it and you go, yeah, but I did everything correctly. Great trading day. Oh, well, I'm red. And you come back the next day, same thing happens. You're like, holy cow, what's going on? What you're probably going to do, and what I do when that happens, is I go, okay, let me go look at these 6 trades that I took. Did I really take good trades, or am I trying to force something? And if I go back and I realize, hey, these 6 trades are really good trades, all of a sudden my emotions go from I'm a terrible trader to, I'm a good trader. Market's just not with me right now. So instead of looking at it as, hey, I had 5 good days and then 2 red days and 2 bad days, I actually had 7 good days, regardless of whether I made money or not, because those 5 days are going to make up for all those losses that I had on the red. And I will tell you, it sounds simple. When you're a new trader, it's very difficult to get away from the money. But I will tell you that I typically don't look at my account until the end of the month now when I do a review to make sure everything's correct in it. When I was a new trader, I would say even for the first 2 or 3 years, I would look at it at the end of every day. And then eventually I was like, I just need to worry about, did I put on good trades? And I got away from it. And when I got away from that, things really started to turn for the better for me, because I was only caring about, if I put on good trades, then I know my plan works and eventually I'll make money out of it. And that's what ended up happening. So longer roundabout question, or answer to that question, but that's how you do it. Focus on process. Are you there, Brett?
Yep,
Or are
I'm
you
here.
on mute? Oh, there you are. I was just trying to see if there was some.
Yeah, I got another one on YouTube. Okay, question. When I have a good day, I tend to keep up with the performance for the upcoming days, but instead I start to lose heavily. How do you control the feeling for performing well after a green day? Yeah, I guess the idea is like you had a great day and you're like, yeah, I'm really killing it. And then the next day you're going to be like, I'm going to kill it again. I had such a great day. How do you let, I guess, your ego not overcome your process? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it makes sense, because when you're having good trading days over and over, you get overconfident, right? It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Just like if you're losing, you're going to lose confidence if you're having in a losing streak, right? It's the ebbs and flows. The way that I deal with it is every morning before I trade, the very first thing I do is evaluate my emotional and mental status, right? I sit down, I go through a routine, and I just ask myself, am I confident in my strategy? And if I say yes, then I go, am I overconfident in it? And if I can say, yeah, I'm overconfident in my strategy, I know this thing's going to work, then I know when I go into trading that day that I need to be especially cautious of taking trades that might meet my setup, right? It's that bias that we have. Okay, everything meets my setup, so I'm going to trade. I'm going to double make sure, right? Pay more attention to the setup. Is it meeting the criteria that I have set in order to enter this trade? And before I get into it, right, I am going to go, does it meet it? Yes, it does. And if I'm overconfident, I'll say, are you sure? I'll say yes or no. And if I say yes, then I get into the trade and I execute it. That's how I've been able to handle overconfidence. Because I will tell you, I've been overconfident, got into trades, and at the end of the day, when I review the trades, I'm like, these are terrible trades. Why was I in it? And I'm like, oh, I know why. Because I think I've been on a winning streak for 5 days, so everything's going to work. So that's what occurs. There was a good, somebody asked, what is process, right? I keep talking about process. Process is everything you do leading up to entering a trade. So for me, when I see a stock that interests me, I look at the stock and I look at the volume. Does it have a smooth volume? Is it at a significant level? Has it pulled back from that level? Is the level 2 stacking, or is Bookmap have a lot of liquidity to the top side? And what is the R-vol? If it has all 5 of those things, or 3 of those 5, I will focus even more into it. And then I will look for confirmations of, does this stock start to punch towards the high of day? Does it have rising volume? And is it not consolidating? And if it has all three of those, then I'll enter the trade. So my process is, how well did I evaluate the indicators and the confirmations before entering the trade? That's the process of that we're talking about. Because notice that if you focus on that, nowhere in there did I say, will this trade go in my direction? Will this trade make me money? I didn't say any of that. I looked, does this meet my setup moving forward? In that process also is identifying your stop, identifying your profit targets, and an entry point as well.
Let's take one more question. In
Sure.
the BBT chat room, I have AF asking, how do you how do you determine if you are overconfident? So I assume if you start dancing all of a sudden from your trade after making a great trade, maybe you should
Yeah.
question your emotions.
Yeah. So, if you can switch to my screen, I just kind of want to
Yep,
see if
can
I
do.
got I don't. Nope, don't switch to the screen yet. I got to pull that back up.
Got it.
I need a blank one. That's why. There we go. That will work. There you go. You
Okay.
can switch to that blank one, right? So it's known as a baseline AF, right? So if every day you are evaluating your physical, emotional, and a mental state, right? How physically well do I feel? And you may be like, what does physicality have to do with putting on a trade? Well, believe it or not, like we had Dr. Reed talking about with our peak capital traders, is the more exertion you put out will tend to allow you to be more mentally focused. It gets rid of all that bad stuff in your mind, cloudiness, stress, all that. So you evaluate your physical, then you evaluate your mental, and you evaluate your emotional. And if you do that consistently over, let's say, a 30-day period, you know where your baseline is, right? You know where it is. So when you come in and you go into, let's say, our mental, right, which consists of our confidence level, and your baseline is here, but then all of a sudden today you notice, hey, I'm way up here because I've been on a winning streak. Like there'll be thoughts that go through your head. Oh, I can't lose. Oh, yeah. Look at how good I am. I got this figured out. Ooh. And you start thinking about what you're going to do with money. And maybe you're starting to think about, ooh, maybe I can start to increase risk more. Maybe I can take some more risk because I can do this. So you start thinking of ways because you're doing so well that you're like, okay, yeah, let me go. Well, you got to be able to identify that and go, oh, wait, I'm overconfident today. Or you might have the other notion where you go down and you're underconfident or not confident, right? Where you come in and you're like, oh man, I'm so worried about it. Is this first trade I'm going to take a loser? Oh man, I really want a winner today, or I really need to put on a good trade because I just feel like crap from the day over, right? So that's how you determine whether you're overconfident or underconfident or not mentally stable or emotionally stable to trade. Is you got to establish the baseline first. And you do that over just doing the same routine, asking the same questions every day of yourself. And for everybody, it's going to be different, right? For me, I ask, for myself, I ask, hey, how did I run yesterday? How far did I run? What did I eat? That's my physical. For my emotional is, hey, do I have personal issues going on? And what's my confidence level? My mental, how awake am I? And then also how self-aware I am. Did I just run through my routine or did I take some time to actually think about the process? Hopefully that answers your question, AF.
Great. I think that was a great session. Thank you so much for coming on, Mike.
Yeah. Absolutely. And thanks everybody for joining us on YouTube. Thanks for being out there. And if you are interested or struggling with a strategy, you can check out. I got a course on Trading Terminal, how to find a trading strategy. Also got a book on Amazon, Introduction to Trading Psychology. I had to think about that for a second. I'm not sure how why I had to think about that, but always good to be here with you guys.
Great. Thank you. And we'll see everybody Monday. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.